Hi, I'm Diana DeRosa, and I am at the Tryon International Film Festival in Tryon, North Carolina.
Woo-woo.
Oh, and I'm with two of the judges.
What?
And the beauty is that I know you, Stephen, have been judging for many years, and Jonathan,
It's my second year.
Yeah, and you've also had films here.
We both have had films here. You got a film here this year too.
Yeah, I've got a film here, but I actually was the judge on your film here, and you won Best Feature that year.
This is feeling a little incestuous.
I think you owe me money.
Pardon me. Yeah, thanks so much, Stephen. Yeah, that was my first time coming. Was 3 years ago, and I think like a lot of people had never been to Tryon, North Carolina before, and of course the first time you come here you fall in love with the magic that is the town and the people and this incredible festival, which is now 5 years old.
Yeah, and not only do you fall in love with it, they fall in love with you. They make you come back.
Yeah.
They say, you have to come back. They chase
Yeah.
after you. They want you to come back. And it's not a hard chase because I keep hoping they call.
I know, and what Diane does, she sneaks around the whole time, takes pictures of you when you're drunk and falling down and stuff. So then they've got material, blackmail material.
Yeah.
You know what? We can show these to your family if you don't come back next year. So that's why we're here. Really, we've been blackmailed again.
What an amazing gala. I mean, it was just incredible, the food and the great turnout.
Oh, it
It
was.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
The tent outside, it's just fun to watch this festival for the last 3 years just really grow and mature, and you know it's like working out in a gym. Every year you get a little stronger, and the more reps you do, the better you get at it. And you know, Kurt and Bo have just really knocked it out of the park this year.
You
Yeah.
really have. So, Stephen, let's talk with you a little
Okay.
bit because you've been judging the most. So I want you to talk about the fact that you were involved with the film and are involved with the film. But what is it like to judge here?
Well, it's a lot of fun. First of all, they have a lot of great films here, so that's the fun part. You get to watch a lot of great films, and you get to see people that are just like you. You know, people who are out there trying to make a film, they get it out, they get it done, and they're putting it out in the world. And Tryon is a beautiful place to put a film out because, first of all, they love films here, and they love filmmakers. And if, as a judge and as a person who's had a film here, I can tell you that Tryon takes amazingly great care of you. They love you, and they love what they're doing. So I know it's stressful putting on a film festival, but you never can tell that. They look like everything's fun and easy. I'm sure they're going crazy in the background, but they're having so much fun.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I mean,
right?
that's your experience too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I run the Dallas International Film Festival, so I believe I understand how hard this is, especially when you're a young festival and you're, trying just to churn it out every year and keep getting better and better. I think that they're definitely over the hump, but it's extremely difficult. The logistics are difficult. You've got not only the putting on multiple events a day and screening films, but you've got guests coming in from all over the world, which is really the fun of the festival, is introducing the people in Tryon to people from other parts in the world. And there's nothing better than film to really start conversation, and I think that's the beauty of film festivals.
You had a film that won here.
I did 3 days in August.
Yeah, and can you just talk a little bit about that film?
Yeah, so that was actually, as I joke, I was probably the oldest first-time director in the history of mankind. Even though I've been in the industry 30 plus years and had directed a lot of television and been on a lot of television shows and been in films, I'd never directed a feature. And so, we sort of put this project together, and we're talking about using both sides of our brain, the creative side and the business side, which you really have to do. It's called show business for a reason, and you want to keep making films, so hopefully your films are successful and get releases. But it was again based on inspired by a true story, a woman named Shannon Kincaid, and who's a foster child and always wanted to paint a family portrait of both her adopted family and her birth family. And so, unbeknownst to either of them, they're all invited to a ranch outside of Dallas, Texas to spend the weekend together, and as I say, hilarity ensues, right? So, but I love finding these situations, I know you do too as a filmmaker, which are deep in the tapestry, as we say. There's lots of levels, and we play in the gray areas, and that to me is what breeds great performances. And I was lucky to have Mariette Hartley and Barry Bostwick and Meg Foster and a bunch of veterans in that film that just...
Meg Foster was amazing.
Yeah, I still, when you can watch your films, as you know, you keep watching your films, of course you're always like, I could have done that a little better. But I really still love watching that film. And that really, this was the first festival that film won. And so this will always have a special place in my heart.
And I know when I look at your face and you talk about your film that you are very excited about that. So speak
Yeah,
about it.
well, we came here initially in 2016 with Hate Crime, and we hadn't really been out in the world with that too much. We had been to one festival, I think, before that, and this town embraced the film, and we actually won 2 awards. We won the Best Feature, and we also won the Human Rights and Dignity Award, which was amazing. But I want to say one thing about the experience of that. I remember when I got the award and they announced the film, and I ran up all excited, like, oh my God, we just won something. The people on the stage who were throwing this festival, they were more happy for me than I was receiving it. It was just that, you know what I'm talking about? Experience.
I do.
They look in their faces. I'll never lose that look, that visual for myself. And particularly with my film, which is a really heavy, hard-hitting film. You know, it's not like an easy watch, and they really helped us. And I think the awards we got here meant we could go forward in the world saying we were an award-winning film, and then that has its own steamroll.
Right.
So, and we ended up winning 17 awards, and
wow.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. But we kind of started here, you know. We started feeling like, oh, people might like this movie, and it's, particularly when it's a hard film to watch, because it's about 2 families struggling with a murder of a gay guy. You know, a young gay man is murdered, and it takes place the night of the execution of the killer. So 2 families are on a collision course that night to be with each other in some very interesting way. And it's a tough watch, but it talks about stuff that is important. And I remember when we made the film, a lot of people were saying that, oh, gay rights and acceptance and all, that's over. That issue's over. And I understand why they said that on the coasts, but it wasn't true in the middle of America.
Right.
And now in the last couple of years, we've seen the hate crimes rise in all respect. It's back, and it's worse than ever in a way.
Yeah.
So I think our film actually gathered more importance as time went. So we have a message of acceptance and love in the middle of a hateful situation.
And I know probably when you made it, you're thinking maybe someday people won't need to watch this film, hopefully ever again.
Right.
Yes.
And then you realize, as you just said, now it's more relevant than ever.
Yeah, we thought maybe we'd missed the window, and actually the window just opened up wider.
Oh my gosh.
This is the movie that you would hope, like a young gay man would say, make their parents watch. Because it's a message to the parents. There are consequences to repression and not accepting your children for who they are, whatever they are. It doesn't not just about being gay, but about whatever they want to do in life. It's about accepting them and seeing them for who they are. And if you do that, and you love the crap out of your kids, you've got a great chance of something good happening for those kids. You know, so that's kind of where I come from on that.
You know, I think the beauty of this whole thing about making films and stuff is just that message that you can get out there, you can touch people, you can get to their heart, you can get to their soul with these films, and you can also do a subject that's of interest to you. But I now want to turn this over to the other part, which is the judging.
Yes.
Okay, turning the hat.
So now you turn your hat around.
Okay, go ahead.
Go gangster, go gangster.
All right, I'm there. I'm good.
So what is it like to judge, and how do you decide what's the best? What are your criteria?
Wow, for me, the first thing that I look for more than anything else is I just want to feel something. So if I'm watching a film and it makes me feel something, then it just moves up onto the winning, dais for me. It's like that's part of it. Of course, we would include production value in the acting and the directing and the camera work and the sound and music. All those things go into it. But number one for me, I want to feel something. And if I'm feeling something, people like Jonathan and I, we've been in business a long time. We've read hundreds of thousands of scripts, and we know when something pops up and you feel something, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now we're in some business here.
Yeah, and we watch a lot of films too, in this process. And I always tell, especially young filmmakers or young actors when they're auditioning or showing the film, we hope this is the next great film.
Yeah, we're pulling for you.
We're pulling for you in every way, right? So
we're not your enemy. We're pulling. So
yeah, and so when I watch a film I try to watch the films at least twice. And the first time I try to watch it through just as an audience member, as a spectator, to see do I feel something? Do I learn something? Does it draw me into the world? Do I forget I'm watching the film? I don't look at the craft of it. I try not to look at the craft of it, because the minute you start to see the craft of it, then it's kind of the warning signal.
And sometimes the craft doesn't even matter because you're so pulled into this wonderful place that they brought you in.
Yeah, and that's and then the second time, sort of usually watching them again is to look at them a little bit more critically and break them down, and because ultimately you have to weigh these against each other, and so you build your criteria.
Yeah, and you're going to narrow it down to a handful of films, like particularly in these short areas where you have a lot of short stories, which is what I'm judging this year. You have a lot of films to watch, so I'm just narrowing it. I'm just looking at that little group that made me, really made me care, made me pull for something, and now then once we get to that little final group, now we're like breaking it down into all the other things, acting and your own characters.
Yeah, it's actually nice judging narrative feature, so it's only about a half a dozen films or so. So although it's not a huge time commitment, what's nice is running the Dallas International Film Festival, we get 1,500 submissions, right? So now I don't watch all those films, believe me, we have screening committees, but eventually you have to watch 200 or 300 films, and so it's really nice to focus on a small handful of films and really give those the attention.
I really like the films that are really. I like watching films from first-time directors.
Oh,
people who are just starting to see before they get told what they can and cannot do, because we know.
Yes.
There's a bunch of rules you got to follow, and there's commitments you have to make, and this and that. But when you watch a film that didn't come from that place, I really like before they learn what they're not supposed to do. That's really interesting to me.
It's great when they don't know what they don't know, right? This is the best. Break all the rules. There are no rules.
There really aren't anyway, but they create rules just to to thin the herd.
To make our jobs harder in some way, shape, or form. But you know what? You're right. That initial touch on a subject means it's probably the closest thing to what you really care about. And you can get that when you do that. Well, it's been great talking to the both of you. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, let them know how.
Well, the best way to get in touch with me is through my website, louisianascreenwriter.com.
And the best way to get in touch with me is through my website, which is torfoot.com, which is TORFOOT. People are like, what is Torfoot? It's actually the family farm in Scotland, and that's the name of my production company.
I love that.
So there it is. Torfoot Lod. That's it.
And I'm Diana DeRosa, and I am doing movie clips from the Tryon International Film Festival in Tryon, North Carolina. And thank you both for being my guest.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.